Free education. A complete DAV solution.
DAV Public School. Solution of Class 8, Social Science. History, Lesson number 10, Colonialism, Rural and Tribal Societies. वीडियो शुरू करने से पहले अगर आपने अभी तक चैनल को सब्सक्राइब नहीं किया है तो सब्सक्राइब और लाइक जरूर कर दे और बेल आइकन को भी प्रेस कर दे ताकि आपको नए वीडियो की नोटिफिकेशन मिल जाए। तो चलिए वीडियो को शुरू करते हैं। Today we will discuss the exercise of Class 8, History, Lesson 10, Colonialism, Rural and Tribal Societies. First we will discuss question number 1. Something to know. A. Tick the correct option. 1. Under the Mahalwari system, the word Mahal means a group of cities. B. A group of villages. C. A group of districts. D. A group of towns. Answer. B. A group of villages. 2. The Ryotwari system was introduced by A. Lord Cornwallis. B. Holt Mackenzie. C. Thomas Munro. D. Lord Wellesley. Answer. C. Thomas Munro. 3. The other name of Zamindari Bandobast was A. Permanent revenue system. B. Ryotwari system. C. Mahalwari system. D. Kisandari system. Answer. A. Permanent revenue system. 4. Who was the leader of the Santhals revolt? A. Manik and Triut Singh. B. Sindhu and Kanhu Murmu. C. Birsa Munda. D. Bhuwan. Answer. Sindhu and Kanhu Murmu. 5. Where did Industrial Revolution begin first? A. England. B. France. C. Holland. D. Spain. Answer. A. England. Next we discuss question B. Fill in the blanks. 1. English shattered the self-sufficient rural economy. 2. Many tribals left forests in search of livelihood. 3. Zamindari system was introduced in Bengal by Lord Cornwallis. 4. Land revenue was the biggest source of income for the company. 5. Basic or key industry started in India after independence. Next question is C. Write true or false for the following statements. 1. Before the advent of East India Company, the rural life in India was simple and self-sufficient. True. 2. The British wanted to smuggle and sell opium in Spain to earn profit. False. 3. Kisan Sabhas were formed in 1930 to support the cause of peasants. True. 4. The Khons of Orissa practiced shifting agriculture. True. 5. The tribal chiefs lost all their powers and were forced to follow the laws made by the British officers in India. True. Next we discuss question number D. Answer these questions in brief. 1. Highlight the main features of Mahalwari system. Answer. Mahalwari system. In this system, settlement was made collectively, with a group of villages called Mahal. Since the land, the forests and the pastures belonged to the village community, the villages were jointly responsible for the payment of land revenue. It was levied on the produce of a Mahal. 2. Why did the British force Indian farmers to grow commercial crops? Answer. The East India Company wanted to collect maximum taxes to meet their military and administrative expenses. They also wanted to gain maximum profit. So, the company started using coercive methods to procure goods which were in great demand in Europe. They purchased raw material at low rates and sent to England. The finished goods were brought back to India and sold at high prices to earn more profits. The company forced the farmers to grow crops like indigo, cotton, raw silk, opium, pepper, tea, sugarcane, etc. 3. What was the impact of colonial rule on the tribals of India? Mention any 3. Answer. The British rule badly affected the life of the tribals. A. Almost every tribe had a tribal chief. But under the British rule, the chief lost all power and were forced to follow the laws made by the British officers in India. B. The Britishers did not like shifting cultivation. When the tribals forced them to allow them to continue this system, the Britishers made several changes in the forest laws which made the tribal life very difficult. C. Most of the forests were declared as the state property. Many tribals had to move to other areas in search of livelihood. 4. Write short notes on the Birsa movement. Answer. Birsa was born in the mid-1870s in a family of Mundas, a tribal group that lived in Chota Nagpur. In 1895, Birsa Munda emerged as a hero of the tribals. He urged them to work on their land to earn their living. This would end their sufferings. Slowly and steadily, the Birsa movement became popular. Birsa told his people that land policies of the British were destroying their traditional land system. Birsa was jailed for 2 years, but on his release, he instigated the tribals to attack Zamindars. He raised the white flag as a symbol of Birsa Raj. The movement ended in 1900 with the death of Birsa. 5. Highlight any 3 changes that took place in modern industries in the 19th century. Answer. A. Industries like cotton, jute, iron and steel developed at a fast rate. For example, the expansion of railways, the demand for coal, iron and steel increased. B. With the passage of time, the cement, chemical and sugar industries also developed. C. Tea became the biggest plantation industry in Assam, Bengal and South India. Other plantation industries were coffee, cinchona and rubber. Now next question we are going to discuss is A. Answer the following questions. 1. List the main features of permanent settlement. How did the production of opium, indigo and sugar shot up the profit margins of the East India Company? Answer. The main features of permanent settlement. A. Zamindari was made a hereditary right of the Zamindars and the permanent settlement or the Zamindari Bandobast. B. They were made the owner of the land. C. They were for A to pay 89% of the total revenue to the British. Their own share was 11%. The East India Company sold opium to China and earned huge profit. Indigo was in great demand in the textile industries of Britain. The peasants were forced to cultivate indigo plants to extract blue dye. But they were never paid just prices. Similarly, sugar was also in great demand in the West. Hence, many Europeans set up sugar plantations in India. Again, the fanners were the sufferers. They had to produce sugar at a very low price. Thus, the British industries flourished at the cost of the Indian industries. 2. Differentiate between Ryotwari and Mahalwari system. Answer. A. The Ryotwari system was introduced in 1820 in the south and west of India. The Mahalwari system was introduced in 1822 in Gangetic Valley, northwest provinces, central India and Punjab. B. In the Ryotwari system, a direct settlement was made between the government and the ryots or cultivators. Under the Mahalwari system, a settlement was made collectively, with a group of villagers called Mahal. C. In the Ryotwari system, the revenue was directly collected from the cultivator. Under the Mahalwari system, the villages were jointly responsible for the payment of land revenue. 3. How did colonialism systematically destroy Indian crafts and industries? Explain. Answer. Before the company monopolized trade, India was very rich in handicrafts, kalika, muslin, wool and silk products. Metal works of iron, steel, copper, brass, gold and silver were also in great demand. In the 17th century, trade with European nations was in favor of India as we exported large quantities of fine cotton, silk fabrics, spices, indigo, drugs, precious stones and handicrafts. But the company's policy systematically destroyed crafts, cottage industries and artisanship of India. A. To safeguard the British cotton industry, Indian silk and cotton textiles were destroyed with imposition of very heavy duty on Indian goods, promotion of British machine-made articles at cheaper rates and decrease in the princely patronage. B. The British brought changes in their trade policies which forced the Indian craftsmen and artisans to give up their traditional livelihood. C. The Industrial Revolution in Britain and other European countries also played a major role in destroying the Indian industries. 4. How far were British agrarian and tribal policies responsible for widespread discontentment in India? Answer: the Indian rural life was simple and sufficient. The British brought many changes in the field of land revenue system, agriculture, trade, industry and administration to guard their own interest. The company found land revenue the biggest source of income. Hence it introduced several land revenue settlement. All these systems proved oppressive to the farmers. The next target of the company was the tribals of India, who lived in deep forests and led a life of self-sufficiency. But the company made their life very difficult by introducing several changes in the forest laws. Most of the forests were declared as the state property. Many tribals had to move to other areas in search of livelihoods. The commercialization of agriculture and exploitation of forest wealth made many tribals homeless and jobless. 5. Describe any 5 revolts by the tribals against the British. Ans. I revolt by the Khassis, who lived in the Khasi hills of northwest Assam, took place in 1829. The construction of a road through their land united many Khasi chiefs against the English under the leadership of Manik and Triut Singh. But the British suppressed their rebellion brutally. The Cookies of hilly regions of Manipur continued attacking the British territories from 1829. But they were forced to surrender in 1850. The Khons of Khondmils near Orissa revolted against the British in 1846 due to the fear of being annexed. But they could not stand before the might of Britishers. The Santhals found themselves quite helpless against the ruthless exploitation and oppression of the traders and the middlemen. They were expecting the British government to safeguard their interests. When nothing was done, they revolted against the Britishers in 1855 to 1856 under the leadership of Sindhu and Kanhu Murmu. Mundas of Chota Nagpur, joined by the Kokarian tribe of the same region, revolted in 1831. The struggle was suppressed by the British forces. But the exploitation by the merchants and the moneylenders continued. And last we will discuss value-based questions. 1. Why did the British introduce some laws related to forests? How did it destroy the rights of the tribals? Answer. The British government introduced some laws related to forests to permitting merchants and contractors to cut the forests. The tribal lived in deep forests. They firmly believed that the forests belonged to them and they belonged to the forests. But the laws related to forests made the tribal life very difficult. Most of the forests were declared as the state property. As a result, many tribals had to move to other areas in search of livelihood. 2. Do you think that efficient management of forests is the need of our? Justify your answer with suitable arguments. Answer. Yes, efficient management of forests is the need of the hour. Today people cut trees to serve their needs. But the world is facing its consequences such as global warming. Certain laws should be made to strictly prohibit the cutting of trees.